she has gone viral, all right? She's gone viral over hot girls eat Arby's. Yeah, she was wearing this outfit, this arrangement into the Chicago Sky game. Of course, the Indiana Fever, I would like to say, beat the brakes off the Sky, but really it felt like they...
Sophie Cunningham stole the whole WNBA news cycle by donning an Arby's t-shirt. One shirt, one phrase, and 800,000 sold. All of a sudden, the league's ticket sales are being surpassed by a fast food restaurant. Even if you tried, you couldn't script this kind of ridiculousness. Additionally, Angel Reese can be seen in the background, quiet, pouty, and most likely going through her comments to find out why her jersey isn't selling out. In some ways, what began as a humorous incident has brought the WNBA's largest marketing issue to a close. It's not curly fries either. That one woman's unadulterated genuineness completely destroyed the league's artificial branding strategy. Sophie did more than simply dan the shirt. She made the news.
Let's go.
Sophie Cunningham's t-shirt became a marketing phenomenon. Sophie Cunningham currently plays for the Indiana Fever and has now become one of the most recognizable WNBA players. And for Barbie night, she pulled up wearing a shirt that said "Hot Girls Eat Arby's," and the internet lost it. But here's the real backstory. A few months earlier, Sophie posted a video rating Arby's, and that video was just her being authentic in herself. And that puppy went viral.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give Arby's a solid 9 out of 10.
Then following this, the phrase "Hot Girls Eat Arby's" started flying around. And it turns out that Arby's has been saying this since 2020.
Please leave a supportive comment for Sophie. Come on. The WNBA's priorities changed. Basketball is less important than brand conflicts in the Instagram, side, eyes, and becoming popular for anything other than real hoops. The scoreboard seems inconsequential. The stat sheet is not required. However,
Next tweet, not the next bucket. And in the middle of this reality show meets basketball mashup, Sophie Cunningham is setting the internet on fire. Not with a highlight reel crossover, but with an Arby's tee and zero PR polish. No pre-planned drama, no carefully staged TikTok dances, just curly fries and charisma. In a league starving for authenticity, she served it up hot and fresh without even trying. And somehow, it hit harder than any buzzer beater all season.
We know somebody that has gotten ridiculously popular this year with the Indiana Fever. I made a prediction that she was going to be the second most popular player on this team by the end of the year. And then, of course, there was the big incident during the Connecticut Sun game. And by the end of that game, she was known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer, right? The one that's got her back. At times, it feels like the only one that's got her back.
drama is a full-time job. Instead of counting down to the next bucket, it seems as though the shot clock is counting down to the next tweet. Sophie Cunningham is igniting the internet in the midst of this basketball and reality show hybrid. Then Arby's tea and no PR gloss, rather than a highlight reel crossover. It's personality and curly fries, without any prearranged drama or meticulously choreographed TikTok dances. Without even trying, she provided authenticity in a league that was in dire need of it. And for whatever reason, it struck more forcefully than any buzzer beater this season. Relation plays are not being run by her. She is separating the facts. No Photoshop filters, no glam squad touch-ups, and no public relations, just plain Sophie, a charade masquerading as individual.
Let's talk about Arby's. She is now on the Arby's payroll. Decided that it was a match made in roast beef heaven. Hot girls eat Arby's. No knock on Arby's, Sophie, but if you give Arby's 9 out of 10, I'll take you to Racks. I'll buy you some Racks, and I think you will find that hot girls probably eat Racks. Arby's has a new spokeswoman, and it just so happens to be Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, that's right. Sophie Cunningham, who took to her social media to discuss how much she enjoyed a trip that she made.
Duality. On the one side, curly fries. On the other, the league's overall marketing plan. In the meantime, there are athletes like Angel Reese, who upload TikToks that resemble a Love and Basketball audition, film more than a professional athlete's feed, fabricate beefs for hits, and chase clout like it's a loose rebound. Sophie is remaining unconcerned. Straightforward conversation, 800,000 shirts flying off the shelves like a common-sense clearance sale, and no gimmicks or thirst traps. In an image-obsessed league,
Sophie Cunningham has broken the internet in multiple ways over the last day. All right, the other day, before the Chicago Sky game, this Barbie, and let's be real, let's be honest. If you were going to cast somebody as Barbie, there's a good chance you'd take a long, hard look.
she's winning by being authentic, which is risky, and it seems to be the game's most unstoppable move. It's as though someone opened a window to let some honesty into a stuffy room. Based on a few of these SE reactions, causing some glued-on lashes to come free, because the league becomes agitated when a player like Sophie Cunningham begins to garner genuine, unscripted fan affection. She does not belong to the Instagram sorority that is curated.
Wild concept.
Let's get it! Bang! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great! Bang!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound! Bang!
After a night of filming, she isn't dancing in the middle of the night. Furthermore, she isn't clinging to staged bestie moments in order to appear in a WNBA promotional film.
All brand.
And off-script, Sophie seems to be just the kind of fresh air enthusiasts have been missing. Interview. 7 people are drawn to her because of this. Since performance art dominates a league, Sophie is just there. No personality brainstorming sessions, wigs, or layers of filters, just basketball. The naked truth and an oddly potent Arby's moment. Perhaps that is just what supporters are hankering after. Real athletes who behave like athletes? Who could have known? Crazy idea. Caitlin Clark completely appended the WNBA's narrative without trying to please anyone. It's why Aaliyah Boston is like a walking fact check, sifting through rubbish. They aren't trying to get viral. Simply by existing and performing, they are becoming iconic. And it worries some people because all those smoke and mirror branding techniques start to show if followers begin to gravitate toward the unscripted and unfiltered, forcing an awkward truth. What precisely are we doing here if the WNBA still can't figure out how to make its real stars household names? It's a ridiculous talent. It has a magnetic presence. But the machine continues to prioritize catchphrases over court vision haircuts, overhandles TikTok influence over toughness, and gimmicks above brilliance. And the league is losing much more than just views as a result of that connection. 700,000 followers in a single day. She had about 300 or so, less than 48 hours ago. I'm not sure if you guys knew. Crazy. The enforcer's here. Since then she has. Even made around 2 posts, dude. She has completely elevated it to a new level. Like there's a new star for Caitlin Clark. This is comparable to a new WNBA star. People won't like it, I guess. Individuals won't enjoy it. Remember what I mean, Trace Leacha? She was somewhat of an obsession for Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull before she was even born. It's beginning to resemble a beauty pageant more than a sports league. Points and assists are no longer used as the currency. Selfies, subweets, and whose nails look the best under arena lights are all part of it. The real hoopers, the grinders, the locked-in pros, and the ones who let their play speak are being drowned out by all that commotion. The jersey for Sophie Cunningham, a teammate of Caitlin Clark, is now officially sold out on the Fever website. This occurs the same week as the chippy foul that resulted in a few players being ejected at the conclusion of the match. After a strong foul on the other end, Caitlin Clark took up the foul as a sort of retaliation. Then right away, I received a petition from the people who despise Caitlin Clark asking for Sophie Cunningham to be kicked out of the WNBA. People are being asked to sign it. What she showed tonight, they argued, was repulsive, although it was a serious infraction. Caitlin Clark supporters are now supporting her and purchasing her. jerseys in such large quantities that they have officially sold out. Luckily for this petition, Sophie Cunningham appears to have recently become a new WNBA A-list sensation. Sophie's moment came as it did for that reason. Contrast to the algorithm, this was real. T-shirt, a smirk, and a vibe no character to play, no glamorous team to approve the fit. You could immediately sense the players' concern, since they had based their entire public persona on attitude rather than results. Sophie recently revealed that followers will follow someone who is authentically quick, rather than someone who is pre-written. When that visibility didn't go as planned, the visibility matters, audience abruptly fell silent because nothing reveals the performative like someone who thrives without the performance. Additionally, I appreciate Sophie's toughness. Sophie, Caitlin Clark's girlfriend, defended her when she was destroyed a few days ago. This was the most insane beast mode thing I've ever seen a woman do in WNBA history. Now, one of my current favorites is Sophie. I now consider her to be one of my favorite WNBA players. I also observe her. I watch Caitlin, for example. Take a look at what she has done. And this, and I, and others might not claim that this was a reaction or whatever the situation may be. However, Sophie seems to be asking, "You want to play?" Worst case scenario for the curated chaos bunch is Sophie Cunningham, popular among fans without the production. The best part is that Sophie was never the exclusive focus of this. It concerns what she stands for. A radical change in the true desires of fans. Not sneaker influencers. Not rivalries on reality TV masquerading as basketball, but athletes who are sincere, who show up, who work hard, and who don't require weekly showmanship to get their attention. There was no PR budget for Sophie's ascent. It was based on her honesty, constancy, and just the right amount of eccentricity to make her approachable. What makes that dangerous? Perhaps because it demonstrates that the league has been pursuing relatability in the wrong direction all along. Well, I wore that to the arena yesterday. She is exactly there. Let's just mention this at Tater Report, huh? She is exactly there. Gorgeous women consume Arby's. I have no idea and can only speculate. I'm going to presume that Arby's is involved in some sort of sponsorship. Well, I'm not sure. At this point, the jokes about the roast beef sandwich kind of write themselves. And now, I'm craving a cheddar melt. A fast food t-shirt was all that was required. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham recently exceeded the WNBA's 3 previous marketing initiatives put together. Sophie with a smile, a $12 Arby's tea, and no media campaign influencer, teen, or dramatic look-at-me moment garnered more attention than half the league's celebrities with 3 times the PR budget. Officially, the story has changed. Some brainstorming in the boardroom prevented it from happening. Fans are sick of noise and want to give something to a real person, which is why it happened. Angel Reese sits there salty and silent, wondering why her own merchandise shelves are still gathering dust. Sophie ships another 100,000 shirts without any trouble. All right, new strategy squad. Keep doing your part, Angel. The others go back and clean up her mess. At this rate, she continues to go missing. Denny's? She will be serving buttermilk pancakes. Butter. Has someone mentioned butter? Con butter. There comes a time when you simply must celebrate excellence. On her back was a me bound. Are you serious? Boom. Me another pray up, Simon says. What if it burned? Burned. She had a great layup under the basket. Obtain this girl's GPS. Get to your feet, everyone. It's time to get to know the athlete who gets paid the least. Boom. To be clear, this wasn't a stroke of luck. Sophie didn't just happen to wear an Arby's. TN suddenly find herself in the spotlight. I went viral. This wasn't an oops moment. This was a tactic passed off as simplicity. Sophie was playing 4D, chess with roast beef and relatability, while the other half of the league was occupied with honing. TikTok dances and sending out passive-aggressive tweets. There were no false vulnerabilities or stunts, just a gradual burn. That spread like wildfire, since the old strategies are no longer effective. Some players are rushing to keep up with the new game plan. I'll say that when you're terrific at basketball, you're attractive, you have grit, and all 3 of those. qualities make you a poor person. Furthermore, I believe that one of the WNBA's recent trends is that, in addition to being skilled basketball players, some of these women will also have feminine appearances. Their appearances change from that of guys to that of stunning women playing basketball. Additionally, I appreciate Sophie's toughness. Sophie isn't taking chances. Every action is planned. Everything is perfect, including the delivery, tone, and timing. She possesses the brand instincts of Madison Avenue's top executives and the emotional intelligence of a skilled negotiator. That Arby's shirt isn't a ploy. It was a superb stroke with little effort and great effect, because Sophie is engineering it, while others are performing for clout. That sends a shockwave through the clout chasers. It dispels the fallacy that attention-grabbing disorder, feuds, and never-ending drama are necessary. When Sophie remained genuine and kept things simple, everyone else's mirror and smoke acts started to seem like cheap gimmicks. The outcome is the same whether she sat down and planned everything out, or simply followed her instincts. She is part of a larger change. Unprecedented attention is being drawn by the Caitlin Clark effect. Aaliyah Boston's supremacy is requesting deference. And by being herself, rather than attempting to conform to the league's worn-out model, Sophie is riding that wave. Sophie just shown that in a WNBA that is fixated on narrative control, sometimes the best plays are the ones that are entirely unplanned. Since Arby's saw this and thought it was a match made in roast beef heaven, let's have a look. Not too horrible. They clearly weren't deterred by the slight she threw at them while they were eating her delicious sandwich and claiming to have left. For obvious reasons, she doesn't have it very often. Sophie, what are those clear-cut explanations? In any case, she is now employed by Arby's. She anticipated the shift before anyone else did. Last year, she saw Caitlin Clark attract admirers who had no idea what a pick-and-roll was, without a single force statement. She witnessed Aaliyah the Enforcer Boston earn respect, merely using her game to silence others. Sophie also recognized the formula. Just clarity, assurance, and consistency, no pretenses or overdone branding. However, this is the section that is making some players furious, particularly Angel Reese. Sophie didn't have to use drama or fabricated rivalries to get headlines. She didn't have to focus her business on being the spokesperson in the hopes that Caitlin's name would help her stay relevant. And the dagger is that Reese discovered that she had simply been the filler episode, despite having built her entire reputation on being the show. Sophie, on the other hand, is the one who sells out merchandise and cultivates a devoted following that values her abilities, work ethic, and character more than her Instagram shade game. That's Sophie Cunningham, as you can see here. She is, or at least the Caitlin Clark she is, the teammate of the year. Late in a game against the Phoenix Mercury, Caitlin Clark actually attacked one of the players in retribution after being shoved to the ground and jabbed in the eye during the first half, and it was adored by fans. They devoured it due of this. If you pay close attention, her TikTok fan base grew from over 300,000, which was fantastic, to about 800,000, most likely at 1 million now. The backlash is here, of course. The sidelong glances, the overt jabs, and the rumors that Sophie is simply fortunate, or that Caitlin's influx of new admirers is the main reason. It's like Sophie hadn't expertly tapped into that new audience. As though transforming momentum into something enduring isn't precisely what the league ought to be doing. Rather, the WNBA continues to waste time on marketing strategies that appear to have been created by a group of perplexed influencers. It's nearly humorous. This league begged for attention for years. They finally have it now, thanks to Clark and actual ones like Sophie. But they're struggling since their pre-approved mascots aren't getting enough attention.
Sophie isn't even trying to get attention. Since genuineness is alluring, it is pursuing
her through the screen. Fans may detect its scent. You can't help but notice how phony everything else seems once you see it. Tonight, Sophie Cunningham's jersey will be sold out. People had been anticipating this. The players will have to act as the enforcers themselves if the referees fail to perform their duties. The referees failed to perform their duties. and the game was chippy from the start. Sophie should be given special treatment by the WNBA, which should use her as a model. Here's how you engage with fans without sacrificing yourself. This is how to create a brand that is truly sustainable. Instead, people behave as though she just happened to stumble into this, as though outwitting a whole system that was based on noise and hype was pure luck. The bad news is that it wasn't luck. It demonstrated that an authentic person will always stand out in a league that is choking under manufactured storylines. Fans understand. They are therefore arriving while it is open, talking loudly, purchasing her equipment until it is gone. Sophie is a welcome change in a league that has been repeating the same old cliched drama for years. Sophie is rewriting the celebrity rulebook with her intelligence, substance, and uncompromising candor. While others try to gain influence through clumsy rivalries and repetitive sound bites, and much to Angel Reese's dismay, every shirt she sells serves as a reminder that no amount of publicity can match what she has. Please leave a scathing comment if you agree with Sophie. Sophie.turn on all notifications. Like and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. After you click the video on the screen, we'll talk in the next.